look at this barrel that I just found. When I say go, be ready to scrape. Yeah, I think we can get some more out of this game, to be honest. Diablo 2, it never fails to produce more things that I can arbitrarily rank. And while some of you might think that Diablo 2 content in general is getting rank, believe me, I agree. Just kidding, I enjoy talking nonsense, and this game has now become my frantic fun time where I produce content with little to no delay, no real consideration, only a script that is hastily made, and my brain which has harshly degraded. But this topic is a fun one because there are so many ways we can talk about it, and I'm ready to absolutely lay into some of these characters. NPCs, a staple of all video games. Without them, you would have a lack of charm, a drop in interaction, a disconnect from the entire game world. In the case of Diablo 2, most of these people are a complete waste. Now, this could be a very arbitrary list very easily, but don't worry, you're in good stead. I will give this considerable thought and contemplation. The two criteria I have for ranking these slobs is A, does the NPC with their general placement and given roles have a bearing on how you play the game and help you in any way? And B, do I think they suck balls? But before we talk about who sucks balls and who sucks bigger balls, I feel that we must start with one specific entry. The question is, for 1 million who gives a shit points, who is the best NPC in Diablo 2? Is it A, Deckard Kane, B, obviously, C, Deckard, D, Kane, E, Geglash? The answer may surprise you, but it is in fact B, obviously. Obviously is the best NPC in Diablo 2. He's this cow right here. Nah, at least for me, there's really no debate about the top pick. We're just going to skimp out right now and put Deckard in his own tier, ranking him alongside such characters as Alcor, Farah, Halbu, and other people who do maybe up to and one thing for you and then fuck off forever would be silly, because he's practically the only really fleshed out character in the entire game. I mean, when you can get into Heroes of the Storm as a non-fighting old man, you know that the character is fairly loved. Oh, I know, let's kill him in a non-cutscene at the beginning of the next game. That's bound to make everyone happy. Yet, I implore you to stay a while and listen to my bullshit, because I think we can have a little fun making fun of all these denizens of Sanctuary. So, akin to my Rune tier list video, I'll give you a little spin of the old wheel and land on an NPC. I then give you the placement, the ranking, the deliberation, the aggression, the thoughts, the concerns, and certainly next to nothing that's relatively important, but hey, that's my style. Let's introduce the tiers real quick. We're looking at Deckard Kane in his own tier, followed by Suck Balls They Do Not, Am Not Bad, Baddish But Not Too Bad, Cock, Does Suck Balls They Does, and Fuck. Diablo 2 NPCs, here we go. Rev up those RNG spins because I sure am thirsty for some complaining. Also, I'm going for a speed run. There's a good deal of NPCs to talk about, so I can't spend forever on each one. Gonna give you the quick 1-2 punch for my opinions and their usefulness. Starting off here, it's Qual Kek, everyone's favorite randomly far too nice barbarian. From his manner of speaking to factoring that he says afternoon like a kind elderly neighbor, he seems way too chill to have the job title of barbarian. I'm not convinced that this guy went to scream at your enemy's school like the rest of us, but it's not such a bad thing. The guy is decently placed for resurrecting your frequently dead mercenary, and he gives you a guaranteed good rune word when you complete his quest. I think solid A tier. Heratli has a little secret with his name which helps indicate how I feel about him. It's this part right here, this rat part. Rat bastard NPC. While his attitude is nice, I guess, and he seems like a wise mentor type, I cannot stand his placement in this town. In fact, everyone in this town annoys the piss out of me, with a few exceptions. Serving as a blacksmith, chances are you'll have to go see him in his corner of the town near the swamp. Not used in any quest, thankfully, but unthankfully because it basically means he has nothing going for him outside of corner blacksmith man. Still, since he's not the worst person to reach in this town, he won't be the lowest overall. Anger, D tier. Izual is not at all what I'd consider an NPC, but he's on this tier maker, so fine, here he is. Lore-wise, he's a traitor, so let's hit him with a bus, otherwise known as the Paladin. Secondly, he's maybe one of the least fun NPCs to find, since he's surrounded by hellish everything, and then he feels the need to not die to 1 billion pounds of pounding his face. He gives you probably the best quest reward in the entire game, but that comes from Tyrael, not this clown. D tier, for dumb NPC. It's the Deckard Kane cosplayer himself, Drognin. Here's the thing, this guy's a real swell dude. He's pretty nice, he's got cool things to say, he's quest relevant, he's stuck in this annoying part of the town, and is the only guy in this act to sell scrolls, which annoyed me for 20 years before I learned that buying scrolls is pointless. Pro tip, you can just sell the town portal or identification tomes and buy them back to automatically fill them. Yeah, so for being out of the way, offering practically nothing for being here, but being still a decently memorable guy, you get a cock tier placement. Larzuk, contrary to his name, does not zuck, and instead Lars because he's far above the standard fare of NPC. He's got good placement for repairs, a chipper attitude, huge value with quest completion, possibly giving the best reward in the entire game, and finally being a Chad barbarian. Easy S tier. It's Warav, the first guy you'll ever see on your journey in Diablo 2. He is perpetually ignored, not looked at, and disregarded until you can abuse him to travel 500 miles through the desert and back, just so your ancient tunnels runs are faster. He's a Chad, what else can be said? He's got a nice attitude, iconic dialogue, his president 2 acts, has a big dick, and is dead in Diablo 3, so you know he was a fan favorite. Everything points to S tier. Okay, since we've rolled Jamela, I think it's prudent to get a double factor removal. Sorry, Halbu, you don't get your own section. These two antisocial bastards get thrown right into C tier since they're really wonderfully placed and are easy to access, but they don't feel like talking to you about anything. You'd think they'd be a little interested in your plight against, you know, hell itself, but nah, they're just gonna sit here and do shit off. I know, who the fuck are you? I'd also love to know what they're thinking about things, or why they're standing here in the Hell Fortress waiting for God knows what, maybe God to come by and do something. Anyway, moving on. C tier, thanks. Golly, it's Geed, the guy who's greedy, garishly dressed with big gambling gets, and going to go straight into A tier. I mean, it's Geed. Is there any debate on this placement? He's a total Chad. You now speak to Ormus. Click, click, click. Nobody wants to talk to you, Ormus. You're just an amazingly placed NPC for healing and buying potions and shit. Thanks for the bad quest reward, but thanks for being a swell guy as well. A tier, pal, that's what you get. Here's an arrogant bastard rolling up. Proceed hero into Terror's lair, said with enough malice to make me think that he's got a bet on Diablo. Guy just rubs me the wrong way, and that's despite his obvious good nature. Also, he's voiced by the guy that does Diablo, so yeah, maybe this rabbit hole goes deeper. What shit are you hiding, Hadriel? Oh, Hadriel rhymes with hell. D tier. Ah, it's me shit, the captain of the boat, in the much less impressive Wariv, or Wariv. I'm saying that now in the script because I know someone's gonna complain. He's in 2 acts, good for him, but his threads don't change, and he's got a very inconveniently placed everything. A good part of his existence is the fact that he has a really good quest reward, kinda. He doesn't actually give you the reward though, so scratch that, he's not getting that perk. Goes into B tier, standing for bye bye me shit. Atma is cool, she heals you and has a cool quest connection. She heals you, she blocks you from leaving the inn sometimes because she's too thick or something, I don't know for sure. I like Atma, but beyond healing you for clicking her, I have little else to say. I've never even learned or cared about the price reduction that she gives you in Loot Ghislaine, so yeah, A tier and that's it. Holy shit, it's Flavy. She's pointless, but she's the ultimate Chad NPC, standing in the fields of death, shooting shit without even moving 1 single inch. Pointless, but iconic. S tier for no reason. I need no lip for this choice. Oh boy, it's Alcor, the guy who is so fucking far from civilization by his choice that reaching him always gives me the, oh boy, I guess I have to walk across the docks. I hate this shit. I have a genuine and irrational hatred of walking around this town. It makes me want to nap. He's useful, yeah, has 2 good quest turn-ins, yeah, whatever. Enjoy your C tier placement. It is Geglash. Well, everyone look, it's Geglash. The least useful, most forgotten NPC who sits around and talks about nothing and is hard to reach for comment about how great he is while doing nothing. I'm going to dash out of here now, Geglash, so enjoy yourself in F tier. Here she is, champion, out of place, annoying NPC herself, lives in a house so far away, I bet she has a different fucking zip code, is needed because she resurrects your mercenary, is useless because you can warp to any other act and talk to that NPC faster than you can talk to her. Straight up top of F tier. Boy, it's Elzix, the swell guy with a cool backstory and is not so bad. I like him. I'm bored by the discussion of him, so bored in fact that I'm throwing him into the direct middle of the board. No matter what, he's going to be as in the middle of the road as I can afford. B tier, obviously standing for bored. Goodness, it's another guy who makes me legit want to go to bed. So Jiren, yeah, annoying. Find better places to stand, please. Or better yet, please don't be this arbitrary guy I have to talk to progress, because that's really annoying. I constantly have to have your approval to go anywhere. Dumbass get dunked on in C tier. I should have put him in D tier for this alliteration joke to work, but I messed up. Oops, doesn't matter, moving on. There is few people that cannot like Tyrael, at least not in his Diablo 2 iteration. If we are talking about Diablo 3, he promises no harm will come to Deckard Kane, and then he fails to uphold his end of the bargain. Oops, Kane is now part of the floorboards. In D2, he's the most standout and cool NPC around. Give him his complimentary S tier and let's move on. Okay, Akara is the top of S. Thanks for playing. One of the best quest rewards, healing NPC with everything you ever need to buy, used for practically everything. Super in all ways. S tier she goes. Funnily enough, I just rolled the second Akara, who basically does the same thing, being a really easy to access total restock NPC with a great quest reward turn-in. For a barbarian, I think. I'm not sure if Mala actually is. Her kind demeanor and fat game benefits give her an easy S tier. Lower than Akara though, because she clogs her inventory sale window sometimes for some reason, and it's kind of annoying. The first introduction to the mercenary system with the Bowmerk, who's not that great, and otherwise Kasha is pretty rude and dressed seemingly lewd, but all of this is superficial and unimportant to the true Chad mechanic of being able to easily access to resurrect your always dead mercenary. Still, I'll give her a B tier. She's not my best pick for anything. Kylan? What the fuck? Kylan? Oh, he's the guy who says, "You may not enter the palace." Well, for 20 years of being annoyed with you, I've got something back. You may not enter anything above fuck tier. Oh yeah, the actual rat bastard Neelathok. He's a cool NPC because he's just such a piece of shit. Acts superior to everyone, trash talks all day, and how does he back it up when it's time to throw down and fight? Well, he like kicks your ass really hard and is maybe the hardest non-act boss in the game. Yeah, it's F tier anyway. Yeah, when you get your own community-used term for this item sucks, in that of Charcy, you know that you're a top-tier contender. Iconic, everyone loves her, cool quest reward, S tier for the Charcy. This NPC is basically an advertisement. Useless, not seen at all, ignored, gone. Bye-bye, Natalia. S tier. F tier. Sorry, I was so quick I mistaken everything in my life. Oh, hoo-hoo, it's Farah, the best placed blacksmith. She's a chiropractor, best placed blacksmith in the game. She's got that good attitude, placed insanely well, and gives you a full heal. And all for her back-breaking work, I give her an easy S tier. You know, Grease is a pretty boring guy in a lot of ways, but he sells you the Act 2 merc. Easy A, just for hooking us up all with that good shit. He's out of the way by a lot, and that's annoying to me, but hey, cool guy Grease, I can overlook it. Anya is that decent character that we all use to look for gloves. Other than that, she names an item for us. Whoop-de-doo, that's basically only good for Reddit posts. She's good though, I always liked her story relevance, and she's cool. Give her an A tier. Anya. Finally, our last guy, Lysander, the guy who ganders, and I will not slander out of all things to say, out of all words to care. Where would I put this guy? A tear. That's tears said wrong to rhyme, you know the score. I'm going to bed here in a second. Alright, well, there you go, a whole script full of nonsense for you all. I hope you enjoyed this video. I had fun starting it, getting into the middle of it, and now I'm sick of the concept of non-playable characters or the letters NPC in general. Next week, we go for a bigger production video with more ideas that stem from my own stem, so hope you enjoyed that too. Anyway, you've been here with Seer, and I'll see you in the next one.